is my midterm project, the Northwind query tool using the Northwind database. I'll explain the code and run the program as I go. So we declare the package, import base Java application class, property classes for table view columns, double integer string. We import the insets class for padding layout, scene, class, container, UI, layout. And then we have the SQL class for connection prepared, statements, arrays. Yeah. Then we have the main class here, extends to the JavaFX application. And we have the database URL to connect to the SQL. So we connect to the Northwind database on this local host. Time zone disabled, the SSL authentication. And then this is my username and password. Then we have a method that returns the database connection. And we use the driver manager to create the connection using the URL and user and password. And then we have a method that's automatically called when the JavaFX app starts. It sets the title of the application window, create a new menu bar, create a new menu called queries, and we create the first item, set the action when the first query is clicked on, create a second menu item, and then we set the action when the queries collected, queries clicked, third, fourth. So this is all for the order total with no freight, full order details, customers and state, and the morning year. And then we add all the menu items to the queries menu, so we'll show that. As we can see here, and we created a border pane layout. Then we place the menu bar at the top. And we create a label with the welcome text. We apply CSS styling, create a new scene, set the scene, make the window visible, and so forth. Then we have the first query, which is the order total with no freight. Added in, we have the method that displays the dialog. For the order ID, we create the dialog box, set the window title, set the header text, label text. So that's what it'll show. And then show the dialog, wait for the user input, and only run the code if the user clicks OK. So this would be the math we would do within the SQL. So this opens the database connection, and then we prepare the statement. And we would execute the query and move the cursor to the first row and check if it exists. Get the total column from the result, display the result, and if no rows are found, it'll show an error message. And then we have the catch exceptions. If it's an invalid input, it'll say please enter a valid integer for the ID. And if there's a database error, it'll give a database error. So we'll go ahead and try that. Put an order number 10248 that I already know it's in the database. Gives you the order number total, excluding the freight. Then we have the order details. Method displays the forward order details. We create the text, dialog, header text, input, label. We show the dialog, the input if the user clicks OK again. Convert the input to string. Open the database connection and then use the SQL query to gather all the info. We set the parameters, execute the query, create a list to store the rows, and then a variable to store the order date, the freight cost, and then we loop each row returned, and we only set the order level values once. We get the order date, the freight, and create a new order detail row and add it to the list. And it'll show empty if no rows are found, and it'll show an error message, and then we'll stop the method. So we'll create the table view to display the results, and then a message if the table is empty. Then create the product column, quantity, unit price discount, and we'll tell the column how to get the product name, how to get the quantity, unit price, and discount. Okay. And then we add all the rows, all the row data to the table, create a header label with the order, date, and freight, and then the style, header, and then it's a vertical layout, add padding, and then we have our custom dialog. And we have some exceptions for inputting a wrong non-integer, and then database error exceptions, so we'll go ahead and do that. And I'll give you this database. The order number, date, freight, product quantity, unit price, discount. And if there were more in the list, it would be scrollable. Then we have the order details. We have the class to represent one row in the order details tab, the product name, quantity, unit price, discount. And we have a constructor that initializes it all. Assign the parameter to the field. And then we have a getter for the product name, getter for quantity, unit price, and discount. And then we have a method that shows the customers filtered by the 2-letter state code for showing the customers by the state. And this will, then we create a text, input dialog, set the dialog, header, content, and show the dialog if the user clicks OK. And show an error if it's not 2 letters. Open the database connection and prepare the SQL statement. Execute the query, create the table view for results, and then create a company name column, and then tell the column how to retrieve the company name. Create the city column, and do the same thing, tell the column how to retrieve the city. Then we add the columns to the table, loop through the results set, and add each row to the table. Create a vertical layout, padding, results. do that. And it gives you the company name, city, Trails Head. Okay. Then we have the class used to represent the customer row, company name field, city field. Constructor initializes the fields. Then we assign the company name, city, getter for the company name in the city. And then we have the method that displays the employees born in a specific year. Text, dialogue, header text, content. Like that. Show the dialogue, convert the input to integer, and open the database, prepare the SQL, set the parameter value, execute the query, create the table value. The table view. Then we create the first name, tell the column how to retrieve it. Create last name column, tell the column how to retrieve it. The columns of the table, look for the text, do the result set, and add the employee row to the table. Create the vertical layout, add the padding, and the custom dialog, and the exceptions for inputting it properly, and in case of errors. So we'll put in a year. It'll show no employees born if there's none born. And give you the first and last name for employees born in 1960. And then we have the class to represent the one employee row, first name field, last name field, constructor, assign the first and last name, getters for the first and last names, and then we show the information on a pop-up. Then we create and show the information, and show an error, and create and show an error alert. And yep, that's my program.